Hey everyone, thanks for joining. This is CryptoVatsik. If you enjoy this content, I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future updates. Nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice. These are just my opinions. Let's go. Okay, today's TA video is going to cover Litecoin. We're on the 1-day chart here on Bitfinex. Now I'm going to just go ahead and mark out those key levels first. First one being right here, around $110 and change. The second one being here, around $75, $80. The third one here being around $50 or just under. And then the final one down at the bottom here, around $23, $25. Now, these are high time frame levels that I see price respecting as we start to move up. And the reason is because we just go back to the data that we've seen in the past to predict what it would do in the future, right? So we got a level of confluence here. Okay, this was our major macro support back here in the bear market until it was lost. All right, and then we had this area of fighting to get above it with the deviation above, really, but this area of, bullish and then bearish consolidation right around that level. And then lots of respect in here, okay, from this high to the swing low to that wick to these wicks and then to this, basically this battle here, trying to flip it as support or resistance until it was lost. And then below, we got this area of bearish consolidation here, and then it was found as support, and then it was resistance, and then it was resistance, bullish consolidation above the level there until we really took off. Now here it's resistance, and then currently that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to fight it as resistance. And then below, this was a key macro support area around $23, $25, call it. Sorry, $50, my mistake, until it was lost, and then a little bit of consolidation under it until we took off, and then this was a huge rally up to the highs here, okay, and then it came back down, obviously retesting this low again down here, and then ultimately just resistance for some time until it really fought to get above, but really couldn't do it. And then one more test deviation below, and then that really took off with the bull run. So you can see right now we came down. Yeah, we deviated somewhat below it, but that's fine. We have found it as support, and it's confirmed support now until invalidated. And the reason why I do this on a high time frame first is because I think it keeps us in check and keeps our emotion in check to not get too bullish too early kind of thing. So yes, we found our bottom here, okay, back in 2018. However, when we came up, we had a huge push to the upside. Okay, that was very nice to see, but you'll notice we came all the way back down and tested this low here with this breakout level. And then also actually right here on the COVID crash, I believe that was, so a bit unforeseen. Maybe without COVID, we wouldn't have seen that low of a drop, and this would have been our low here. However, we did come back down and we actually technically front ran this low here a little bit, okay? But really ultimately the sweep, a higher low technically, and just gave us some more bullish consolidation in this zone to really push to, I guess, technically all-time highs. Really a bit of a failed pattern in comparison to this high, but that's fine. It still gave us, about a 10x or 1,000%, 1,200% move. So the reason why I say this is because I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down and eventually test this low again at some point. Okay, so even if we had a very nice push up, into supply here, I'd probably expect something like this where we come back down and at least test that low again before we have some more accumulation and then breakout right around this area. So I think there'll be more chances to get in. It doesn't just V-reverse to all-time highs, as we all know. And you'll notice the last time we had this set up, okay, we came back down. We made our area of accumulation down here, made our bottom, and almost ultimately had that major market structure break, making a new high, okay, in comparison to this level, this breakdown here, this structure here we broke down from, and then just kind of valleyed right back out and then made a new high in comparison to these lower highs, okay, and then this led to a very nice push up. So I wouldn't be surprised if Litecoin is doing something similar at this point, because you'll notice we had this level of breakdown right here, okay, a little bit shorter, but ultimately we have now made that higher high, technically getting out of this bearish structure. And you can just see it right over here as well, okay, so lower high, higher high, ultimately reclaiming this level, breaking that macro market structure with a nice retest here, and then it was off to the races. So I wouldn't be surprised if Litecoin's working on the similar cycle, and it looks like it could be. So for me, I'd like to see us continue to push and really reclaim this level here and hold that area as support. And then I'd just be targeting the high up here around just over $100. But yeah, I was looking at this chart last night and it looked pretty bullish for another move up. I was just watching Basically just this pennant forming, and thought, it would at least have another push and fill in some more of this wick here. Whoops, fill in some more of this wick right here. And yeah, so we've had a new high. However, it just kind of does look like a bit of a swing failure pattern. So wouldn't be surprised if we fill in more of that wick, and then perhaps we come back down and ultimately retest this area with this high, okay, right here, that we're acting as resistance. And then there's also the level, the breakdown, origin of the breakdown here that we've flipped as well. Okay, resistance, we've smashed above it. So wouldn't be surprised if we get a retest of either of these levels until ultimately reclaiming this again as support. Really looking for a long opportunity down in this. Might not get it, could get front ran, could just be, kind of like that, up to this high and then kind of elevator down kind of thing. That's also possible, but wouldn't be looking to get necessarily long right here. I'd be waiting for the next dip. We're above the exponential moving averages here now on the daily, which is a big thing to get above those on the daily. We are seeing slightly higher volume here as well, so that's good to see. Okay, right here. And, you want to see moves like this on high volume, not on low volume like this, because otherwise it could just die out pretty quickly. But ultimately, as I said previously, okay, these areas of confluence with this level right around $75, $80 is what I'm now closely watching, right? So we're starting to test it here. It's figuring out if it's support or resistance for at the moment. It looks like it's broken to the upside, okay, but don't get too excited, don't get faked or tricked out. Personally, I would be waiting for the dip on a high time frame, okay, at least another sweep of this low, taking up some of this liquidity down here before looking to get long, and waiting for that confirmation kind of thing, rather than just buying green candles like this that eventually in a few days could be lower than your entry. If it does continue to push currently into tomorrow and Wednesday, then I'd be looking for a retest of this level here, okay, and be entering on a reclaim, deviation below on that confirmation, and then again, like I said, targeting the high up here. Let's zoom in down to the 4 hour. Okay, so like I said, it's broken out of that diagonal. Sure, that's fine. Retesting this area here again, wouldn't be surprised if it came back down. There's your retest of this diagonal, something like that potentially. Let's see what RSI is doing. Technically a bearish divergence actually on RSI. So we got a lower high on RSI, relative strength index. Meanwhile, we got a higher high on price. So that's a bearish divergence. So that just means on the lower time frame, we could be due for more of a correction. Maybe come back down, like I said, sweeping this high a bit more, confluence with this area here. More of a retest of that exponential moving average, wait for the reclaim. And then we get that breakout up to the high that I was hoping for, something like that maybe. But don't get me wrong, this does look bullish. I do think this is a strong move, and on a macro time frame, this has more room to push to the upside, in my opinion. All right, let's go back to the 12 hour here. Yeah, so there's definitely some room to play up here still. We've only taken out a little bit of this inefficient balance here in price. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to come up more of this origin of the breakdown, sweep potentially some of these highs up here. And then, that's a huge rally for sure off the bottom, but would be expecting to come back down and test these lows again at some point in the future. If this fails and this does break down sooner than I expect, then we do have some space still with this low down here. Okay, so we do still have some space with that low to come down and test that area, right? So this is our current low, but if this starts to fail right at this level like this, then I'd be more inclined that we'd be coming down to test this low actually closer to $30 kind of thing. I know it sounds bad, but this is this is our current low, but it's untested at this point. We've got kind of some bullish consolidation here and here. It doesn't really look like accumulation. It's kind of just choppy. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we at the least come back down and test this low again, but potentially still looking at this low down here for maybe more of a cycle bottom on Litecoin. And if you're getting really excited here and it's hard to control your emotion, just look left, you guys. We had our bottom here, sure, and we had a huge push. People were calling bottom was in, all-time highs coming up here. and then we came all the way back down, and we tested very close to that bottom. Even with the COVID crash, we came pretty much right down to it. So just keep your emotions in check. These things take time to build up. So that's my thoughts, at least. And just quickly before I go, let's see what the fibs are doing. Take it from the bottom down to the top, bottom of the COVID crash there. Yeah, so definitely some confluence here on the 786 level. Okay, definitely respecting the 618 as usual. Lots of choppiness around that area as resistance and support. And then they just get less and less as we go up. However, yeah, these are key areas, in my opinion, to be watching for on this push up, and for the next cycle. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate the engagement, the likes, and subscriptions. Hope to put out more really good content for you quite frequently. So you can always follow me on Twitter at CryptoVatsik as well for other frequent updates. And as always, thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.